Live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, unfortunately, I would have loved to have won this game. Obviously, you don't want to lose every preseason game, but like I said, I don't really care so much about the wins and losses, especially when you're getting to the fourth quarter and stuff, and it's our G League guys and they're playing their bench guys and stuff. Like, I don't really care about that. I care about how do we look with the guys that matter. How do we look with our starters? How do we look? How do our core players look like? Right? Is it a mess out there? Are we playing defense? How is our offense looking? Is it clicking? Right? I care about the little nuances from the guys that actually matter. Right? I care about seeing us improve game in and game out. Night in and night out through these preseason games. Are we actually executing the things that we're supposed to be executing in the preseason? Right? Like, are we being aggressive? Are we hustling? Are we doing the things that are we doing the things that we're supposed to be doing? Obviously, again, I would love to win, but I don't care about I don't care about the fourth quarter Lakers falling apart because our G League guys are playing. I care about the core guys, and the core guys were very good. Right? We dominated that game the entirety of that time. LeBron James and Anthony Davis did everything that we wanted them to do. I said this after the Olympics that I thought they were going to be in midseason form immediately, and they were. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were fantastic this game. LeBron gave you 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks in 16 and a half minutes of action. He was 8 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. He looked spry. He was athletic. He looked explosive. He was wheeling and dealing. LeBron James under this offense, and I love it's so refreshing. It is just like it really is. It is so refreshing to see actual movement, actual ball movement, guys actually doing stuff besides just standing there looking clueless, right? Like, or just standing in the corner waiting. I love that we actually were sharing, moving the basketball. Some guy like Reaves still continues to struggle with his shot. It's like, come on, man. I really need him to get into a rhythm. It's frustrating, but you saw the quality of looks. I still like that he's being aggressive, right? He's not settling too much. You're getting ridiculously open. I mean, the first play of the game was a lob to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is going to benefit greatly from this style of offense and just the looks and opportunity that he's going to get. LeBron James is going to benefit as far as taking pressure off of him and being able to just kind of slice and dice the opposing defenses, because you're going to have all that movement, and he's such a great passer. He's going to be able to kick it to open shooters. He's going to be able to dump it down, right? Like, I love the type of offense that we're running, right? Taking playbooks out of everybody. Even Dan Hurley. The first play of the first preseason game was the skip play from Dan Hurley's playbook. And then you're seeing things from Golden State and Denver and plucking stuff out of here from Boston and plucking stuff out of here from Sacramento and stuff, right? I really like what you're seeing with the core guys. And again, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're really going to benefit. And you saw LeBron, he was active on defense. He looked very spry. He looked a lot of what we want him to be. But also, it makes it easier for LeBron to be active on the defensive side. He's not going to be prime defending Derrick Rose in the playoffs type of LeBron James. But he still can be serviceable, and him not having to handle such a burden offensively, I really do think that he'll be able to be a little more active on the defensive side. I think that goes a long way. But LeBron looked fantastic. Anthony Davis, I mean, come on, 17 minutes, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 8 rebounds, like 7 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Free throws, got to make free throws, my guy. 2 of 4. But again, outside of that, things are going to be so easy for him. It's going to be so fun to watch. Things are going to be so easy for Anthony Davis on the offense side. And not just that, but because you're going to have actual movement, Where the problem you saw last year, like when Ruiz just stuck and tucked away in the corner, all offensive possession, if I'm the defender on Rui, I don't have to worry about Rui. He's not leaking. He's not going anywhere. If I know he's just going to stand there the whole possession, well, then now I can kind of play middle. Right now I can go and help on AD and still get back to defend Rui. Right. But if I know Rui is only going to stay there for a second, right, and there's nothing there, okay, boom, now he's cutting. I have to follow him. I have to trail. And now the ball goes, like, you see the Lakers are really running through the offense or running through the middle of the court, right? And you see a lot like Anthony Davis get the ball. And if the help comes, boom, it's easy dump pass because you got a cutter or, an easy kick out to an open three. Somebody's open, right? Where before everyone's just standing around, you can kind of pack the paint and play by the percentages. But if everyone's moving, you're just going to generate really good quality looks. But I really like what we're seeing. There is a clear difference between JJ Redick and his coaching staff and what we got from Darvin Ham. There is, right? However you feel about Darvin Ham, however you feel about JJ Redick, there's a clear difference. Now, look, to be fair, Phoenix's defense is atrocious. Phoenix is awful defensively. Lakers got everything they wanted whenever they wanted it. And Mike Budenholzer is running the Mike D'Antoni 10-second or less, right? So they basically have just said, forget defense, just take 43s a game is basically what it is. Which, look, Phoenix, they have enough offensive firepower. They're looking to just outscore you, right? But the Lakers, I like the engagement on the defensive side. I like the engagement on the offensive side. But I'd like to see that offense opening night against Minnesota. Sorry. Because Minnesota was the best defensive team in the league last year and are probably going to be that, if not top 3 to 5 defense this year. So what does our offense look? It's one thing when you're playing Phoenix and they're small and they can't defend. Of course, you're going to get whatever you wanted. Lakers probably beat Phoenix by 30 if the starters actually played the whole game, right? Like, I don't really care about that. I want to see what does this offense look like against the best defenses? Because you go lay 120, you put a $120 on Minnesota. Now we're talking, right? Like now, Lakers, because I think Lakers are going to be a top 3 to 5 offense at worst. I think at worst they're top 5 offense. I wouldn't be shocked if Lakers are number 1 or number 2 offensively, because I just think that they're going to generate a lot of just easy looks on the offensive end, and you're already seeing it in these first 2 preseason games. And guys are only going to get more comfortable. Guys are only going to get, the plays are only going to get more polished, right? Things are just going to get better balanced out. But anyway, let's dive into the chat here. I appreciate you all being here. Again, hit that like button real quick. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And let's get into the thick of it. Okay, here we go. Let me get to the top. Why was the last shot not for Christie? I think it was supposed to be. I think it's just they closed out on Christie, and then Knecht was able to leak out, and they were able to get the ball to him, and then he was wide open, so you take it. I think it was just kind of a broken play. But, hey, he's a rookie. He's a kid. Let him take that shot, right? He needs it. If he would have hit it, that would have been huge for his confidence. Unfortunately, he missed it, but you live with it, right? You generated a wide open look. He had it. That's his shot. He struggled shooting the ball tonight, which is fine. Again, like I said, I need to see what other things they can do. He was 1 of 7 from 3. He had his struggles, but this is a good experience for him, right? You'd rather that play be for Dalton Knecht in the preseason than in the regular season, right? You'd rather him miss that now, so you can have that teachable moment tomorrow in film session. You can sit down with him and go, hey, you had time. You got to look at because he still had time, right? You didn't have to pull off. You didn't have to just shoot the shot, right? You could have maybe taken a step in. You could have maybe, kind of swung it out, kind of let things develop, right? Like this was a good teachable moment for a young player that we're expecting to have a real impact this season and for the future. I am okay with what the result was. Tyler, I know I'm in the minority on this, and I know this will be seen as a wild take, but Dalton should be in the rotation. This is a team that already has enough already has enough offensive talent. His skill is not needed. Oh, okay. So you're saying he shouldn't be in the rotation. In my opinion, I know he sucks at a lot of parts of basketball, but I'd rather give minutes to Cam if we're trying to win a chip. If Vando wants to be injured all the time, we need professional athletes in that spot. So, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss it. Okay. As far as like, I think Knecht should be in the rotation, but in that like Torian Prince role. And I've said this before, right? Like, you still need offensive production off the bench. And you look at like Torian Prince last year when he was in the game and he was in this like, 12 to 15 minute stretch, he was excellent. As soon as he branched beyond that, he was terrible and the Lakers would lose. I think that's where Knecht should be. Knecht should be in that like 12 to 15 range. Also, right now with guys not healthy, like where do you slot him into? Right? Like who are you playing? Who are you really playing over him? Right? Now, when Vando comes back and everything like that, then maybe he falls out of the rotation. But for right now, I would run him while you can, especially early on in the season where you can kind of get away with it a little more. I get your points. It's like, he's not like he's ready to go offensively, but when he's not giving you the offense, he's not really providing anything. But you got to keep in mind there's a big difference. How many minutes he played? 30 minutes this game? There's going to be a big difference when he's playing he played 21 minutes. Big difference when he's playing as the 7th or 8th guy in a game rather than like the 2nd guy in a game, as you're seeing in like the back half of these games, right? And his defensive side, like you're going to slot him in with certain units. Like he's not going to be out there with Jalen Hood-Schifino, Colin Castleton, Bronny James, right? He's going to be out there with like Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, right? Anthony Davis, LeBron James, right? You're going to have him slotted with other guys and in various units, right? Like Dalton Knecht doesn't look that good when he's slotted along guys that can't help him, right? And he has to do everything himself essentially. But when he's out there and he's with a guy like a D'Lo who can create for him and just get him easy looks, or LeBron, and have defensive assignment guys out there alongside him, right? Like put like Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis out there and watch Knecht give you 15, right? Like you need that. You need the balance. I do understand and I do get that, like, you have enough offensive firepower, particularly in your starting unit. But also, like, what if the Lakers do pull off a trade? You want to get Dalton Knecht as ready to go. Because, like, what happens if it's like, oh, shoot, we need him now, right? Like, we need him to actually be an impact player out there on the basketball court. And you just basically have sat him all game. Just something to keep in mind. Again, I get your points. But, yeah. I liked the AD and Hayes lineup with Max, Christie, and Gabe, and LeBron. They did. Yeah, I think you're going to continue to see. I mean, JJ Redick talked about how he's going to experiment with lineups, and I think you'll see more experimentation. I like how JJ did the lineups we all wanted to see and mix together. Yeah, I mean, he said going into preseason that he was going to have like various lineups, and he was even going to have some like wacky lineups. Because again, like you saw the lineup in the first preseason game where it was like Rui and like, what was it? Like Jalen Hood-Schifino, I think D'Lo, LeBron, or D'Lo, Reaves, and was it Max Christie, something like that? And it was like, what is this? But again, like we didn't have any centers. Let's see what that looks like, because there could be a point in the season where, hey, we're shorthanded on centers tonight. Let's see what Rui with these guys look like, right? Kind of give you an idea, like have Jalen Hood-Schifino in like the Vando role. It's like, okay, what does that look like? Okay, this looks good. Imagine if that had Vando in it, right? Like, I'm all for that. This is the preseason, most important stretch of the NBA. We need that preseason championship so we can tie Boston. I feel it, LeBron, though. I feel it. Tyler, do you know who I am? Well, there's one guy that I know. Last time I said your name, you were like, don't say my real name. So I'll say there's only one guy that I know that changes his profile pic numerous times. So if it's you, then it's you. Starts with an O. I'll say that. Because last time you were like, oh, no, don't put it out, so I won't put it out. But I'm pretty sure that that's you. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. The main guys played well. Exactly. And that's what you want to see. That's all I care about. How do the main guys look when the game, when it matters, right? Like, how do they look when KD, Beal, Booker are out there with their main guys? Like, our main guys versus their main guys. How does that look? I don't care about how our G League roster looks against their bench. That I don't care about. I care about how does our starting five compare to their starting five. Our starting five torched them. I like that. Bronny should have played another 2 to 4 years in college. I mean, you're going to get more development in the G League, right? Like, he could have, but they're going to take the time with him. And especially with the new, like, regime, Bronny will get where he needs to be faster being in the G League than he will be, and just being a part of the team than he will be in college. AR is a bum. I wish he could trade it. He's really struggling to shoot the basketball. And I made a video over on AIS, the Lakers show, about it. And I had a lot of people be like, Jill, it's one game, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, and to all those responses is we made those same excuses, myself included, all year last year. At what point do we go, this is just who he is now? Again, I'm rooting for him. I want Austin Reaves to be the best version possible, because the better Austin Reaves is, the better the Lakers are. But Austin Reaves has, like, forgotten how to shoot the basketball. I don't know why. The excuse last year was that he had tired legs and because he played so much basketball. Okay, fine. You got me. I'll buy it. I'll believe that. Okay. Sign me up to I'll take that as credit. Okay? But now we're 2 games in, and yes, he was 2 of 5 at the end of the game, but he started 0 of 3, and he was 0 of 5 from the field total. And the only 2 shots he hit were those back-to-back threes, and then couldn't buy a bucket the rest of the way. And then what? He was 0 of 7 this game? Yeah, 0 of 7. So he's, 2 of 12 now from three-point range. And he was 2 of 10 from the floor, plus 2 of 9. So he's 4 of 19. So through 2 games, Austin Reaves is 4 of 19 and 2 of, 2 of 12? From 3? That's terrible. This is 2 games now. Like, how long are we going to keep making excuses? Right? Again, I was a huge Reaves defender. Go look at videos before last season. I was hyping him up like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. Right? But at what point is it like, all right, enough defending the guy? We only have what we have. I don't care what he did 2 years ago now. I care about, like, what is he doing in the moment? I only have the body of work that he has right now. I don't know what he's going to do, 3 months from now. I can't judge him on 3 months from now. I can judge him on right now. I can judge him based on his performance right now. He's been bad. He has not been very good. Now, look, he's doing other things. He's been better on the defensive side. He's been rebounding. He's been making plays. I'm not saying he's, just unplayable. Like last season, there were times where he was unplayable. I'm not saying he's unplayable. And I've defended him in the sense of, like, I like that he's being much more aggressive. He's being much more aggressive. He's actively searching for his shot. But shooting the basketball, that's a problem. And again, a lot of people keep defending him. And look, I get it. I like Reaves too. But at some point, the excuses and the defenses have no brace, right? At some point, it's just like, this is where he's at. That doesn't mean he can't figure it out. That doesn't mean he won't improve. Again, and if that happens, then we'll talk about it then, right? Then we'll talk. If he, say gets through these 2 games, the last, 2 or 3 preseason games, he's great. And then we get into the regular season, and he's great, then we'll judge him by that body of work. But right now, we have last season and these 2 preseason games as his body of work, and he can't shoot. He can't shoot the basketball. So, I'm still kind of mad we lost. I get it. I want the wins too. I'm with you 100%. Like, I want to win every preseason game, but I care about how does it look when the main guys that matter are on the court. Again, I don't care about the fourth quarter when all our G League guys are on the basketball court. I care about how does it look when our main guys are going up against their main guys. Are we getting torched? Are we winning? Is it neutral? Right? And we just ran through them. We were still a 37 win. We weren't even a 37 win team last year. What are you talking about? Did you just like skip 3 years? LeBron seems more motivated because I definitely think that's part of it. I think it's a combination of things. I think he just played in the Olympics, so he's fresh. He's in kind of midseason form. On top of that, you add in that he just won the MVP and a gold medal, and he has his son, and he just became the oldest player in the. I just think you start going down the accolades, and it's like I could see why he's excited. I can see why he's fresh. But the Lakers haven't won a preseason game in the LeBron era. Is that true? No, because in the bubble year, didn't they won? Didn't they win one, or was it the year after? I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure that they've won a couple. I know that they didn't win any last year. Didn't they win? They won 2 the year before. No. We benefit from playing a small Sun team, and I mentioned that earlier, right? Like how much of it? That's why I want to see it. What does it look like against like a Minnesota team opening night, playing the best defense in the league last year, right? A small Phoenix Suns team that can't play defense, right? I don't want to. I loved how it looked. I don't want to take away from the way it looked. It looked chef kiss, but you gotta be honest about the situation, in my opinion. Max Christie. So Max Christie was the only reason that game was close, right? Like Max Christie is not consistent. It's his first year. He's essentially a rookie, right? Like it's his first real year getting real quality minutes. You're going to get those inconsistencies from him. And look, I made a video talking about that very thing with those two, right? Like I need to see the other things. Like what else can you do, right? We know Knecht and Christie can score the basketball when they're on. But are you rebounding? Are you defending? Are you, doing other things? Christie defensively, I loved how he was picking guys up 94 feet. Like those are the kind of things you want to see. Bronny for real looks 19 out there. Just scared to do anything. To be honest, needs to check on his mental. Like nobody has ever really thought about how Bronny actually feels about all of this. Playing with his dad is definitely not easy for him. I'm sure that there's some challenges with that. Tyler, I genuinely believe that Bron and AD is the best duo in the NBA. I agree. And with Murray playing drunk for the past 6 months, it's not going to change anytime soon. Yeah, I think that they're the best duo in the league also. But to stick to your first point, with just that, look, Bronny again, he's a 19-year-old rookie coming in. Defensively, he's looked very sound. Offensively, he needs a lot of work, right? He's a project. He's also the 55th pick in the draft, right? And if my thing is, I think a lot of Bronny gets lost in translation because it's LeBron's son, both positively and negatively, right? Like I got a comment from someone on one of the videos that I responded to because they were like, hey, I really like your analysis for this game, but I feel like you hyped up Bronny too much, particularly on the defensive side, and then gave me the reasons why. And I said, okay, remove Bronny's name. Just look at it as a 19-year-old rookie, 55th pick. Don't look at it as Bronny James, LeBron's son. Look at it as he was the 55th pick in the draft. And look at the type of defense and things that he has shown out there on the basketball court. Anybody else, we'd all be like, Lakers just did it again. Another steal. My guy. Woo! Give it up to our draft team. Look at how he's already NBA level defense. Offense is a little cooked right now, but he's 19-year-old rookie. Give him 3 years. He's going to be the best two-way player. We'd be hyping that kid up like he is the second coming of Michael Jordan, right? But because you insert the Bronny James name, he's trash. He can't shoot the basketball. Guy's bum. He's always out of position. He's always this, right? Like instead of looking at the perspective of the player, it's looking at the bias of LeBron James, whether you love him or hate him, right? There are extremes both ways. I've seen people overhype Bronny like he's already the second coming of Michael Jordan. And I've seen people greatly diminish and undervalue Bronny. He is a very good point of attack defensive guy for a 19-year-old rookie who needs a lot of work and needs a lot of polish. You remove the Bronny James name and you just look at the 55th pick and the way that he has performed. Offensively, he's had his struggles. Don't get me wrong, there's no doubt about it. He's got insane athleticism, great instincts, make plays, and defend. That's a better start than 90% of rookies, even right now in this draft. I mean, Alexander Sarr just had a really solid game in his first game. He averaged what, like 2 points or something like that? I don't even think it was that many in Summer League, right? Like, but nobody says anything. No one cares that he was trash in Summer League, worse than Bronny. And he was the number 2 pick. Because why? His name isn't Bronny James, right? Like, that's the difference. I think if you just look at the player, or look at not the name, just look at the player. Insert any other 55th pick in Bronny's spot, and we'd be all talking about how Lakers just got the steal of the draft. Now we have to wait till third. Yeah, that's what sucks. We have to wait like 3 days. Ugh, I know that's rough. Lakers officially eliminated from preseason championship contention. No, just kidding. I get it, LeBron. They didn't get a chance to watch the full game, but did we get any looks at AD playing the fourth? No. They just played like basically the first half was the starters. LeBron and AD played like 16 minutes. I think AD played 17, almost 18, and LeBron played 16 and a half. And why do you think Bronny is struggling offensively? At least his defense looks league ready. Yeah, okay, so I just talked about the defense. I think it's a combination of things offensively. I think one, he's making the rookie mistake. And I have pointed, again, video evidence on the channel. I pointed this out about Max Christie. I pointed this out about Maxwell Lewis last year. I've talked about Jalen Ojafino about this. Since I've had a channel, I've talked about rookies. And even on As It Stands Sports, I've talked about other rookies making this mistake. A lot of rookies try to do too much. They want to show what they have in their bag. They want to show, like you see Bronny not even hesitate taking a shot, right? Fine. Go ahead. Pull the trigger, right? But be selective, right? Read the defense. Know how to close out. Sorry, bear with the dogs for a minute. You're going to, sorry, that made me lose my train of thought. Doing too much. There we go. Got back on track. So Bronny, like a lot of rookies, almost play like they're trying to make the team rather than realizing I'm already on the team. Play within the schemes. Don't play outside your box. You see Bronny trying to be as explosive as possible to the rim and just trying to rise up and just kind of get the ball up at the rim rather than, being in control. Part of it is trying to do too much and trying to show too much. Dalton Knecht at times even. I even broke it down in preseason or in Summer League. And there's a couple moments in preseason in both games, last game and especially this game, where you'll see him try to do a little too much, trying to show, no, I can do it. I can get high. I can do this, right? You saw guys like Blake Hinson at times fall into that trap, right? Like you see a lot of guys. Maxwell Lewis was a great example this Summer League, right? Maxwell Lewis, you saw him that first quarter of the first Summer League game looked dominant. I mean, like he was getting whatever he wanted. And then it started to not fall. And then you saw him trying to do too much. You saw him trying to overextend on the offensive side. That's where the problem lies. You get a lot of these rookies that are trying to do that. The other elements are, one, Bronny's not polished offensively, which will come with time. He does have a good-looking shot. He does have the explosiveness to get to the rim. He's got to understand better positioning. He's got to understand better balancing. He's got to understand how to read the court better. That'll come. You see a lot of guys kind of take their time, and then, year 3 or 4, boom, they just hit that spot, right? Like, he needs the polishing. Right now, you have the diamond, but it's kind of, it needs a cleanup, right? And if you can polish that and you can get it right, boom, now you got that diamond. I'm not saying Bronny's going to be a superstar or anything like that, but not everyone has to be. You just need him to be what he has shown to be great at. defend, rebound, knock down the open shot. If he can be a Gabe Vincent-esque player, which isn't even that crazy, right? Like, that's perfect. Again, 55th pick. Most of those guys are out of the league. Let's see. Tyler, I genuinely believe Bronny. I genuinely believe Braun and AD is. Oh, I already got this one. Yes. JJ is going to be a great coach in the league. I believe it. I have said it from the beginning. I think he is going to be fantastic. That last ATO play from JJ was good. Yes. He's had a couple on these 2 preseason games. Let's see. I've joined the JJ bandwagon. I have complete faith in him, like completely, for better or worse. I'm glad you came aboard, right? Like I have. I think JJ is going to be fantastic. You already see the differences. You already see the significance. Nurk was out. We have better results when AD doesn't have to battle bigger full bully centers yet. Definitely helps. I believe this team is currently constructed can make the West Cups. I've said from day one, I believe this team can win. Right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be good enough. Right? If the role guys can show up and then you add in the JJ element and the coaching staff, this team, no one would be shocked if the Lakers won a championship. Right? Even the people that are talking mess right now and acting like it's never going to happen, like there is a part of them. If you had hooked them up to a lie detector test and asked them, they said no, they would fail. Right? Like they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Right? Like the West is stacked, but it's not that stacked. Like the teams aren't that much better than the Lakers. Right? So I wouldn't be shocked. Is it something that I would bet on? Right? No. Is it something that I would recommend to people? No. But would I be surprised? No. Right? Max is good for me. Max is fine. Max Christie is fine. The Suns are complete trash. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish in last place of the conference. I mean, they'll be a playoff team, but they're not. Again, I don't believe in them at all. Dalton is in a great position to take Cam and Austin minutes if those two keep struggling offensively, like Dalton's game. Yeah, I mean, Austin just does more, so I don't see him getting Connect's minutes or Connect taking his minutes. But I do like what Dalton brings, personally. Absolutely, still need a center. Rui is good this game. Yes. Good afternoon. What's going on, Kazu? Good afternoon from the middle of the Pacific. Hope everyone is doing well. Great to see basketball back. Let's go. I am right there with you. What's going on, Gerald? Appreciate you. Salute, my friend. Salute. Why not Max out, Rui on the bench? That 3-guard lineup won't be bad. I don't think it will be either. JJ is going to let it run. I think at some point Vando will be in the starting unit. Yeah, I agree with you, but we got too many solid offensively. But if he's not scoring, it looks ugly, guys. No, when 3rd, 4th, 5th most talented player are like that, I'd rather have an athlete. I get that. Like I said, picking up what you're putting down. Why does LeBron look more athletic than last year? Not Ronnie, does he? It looks very good. Bronny is not legitimate D1 level starter player, has no place in the NBA. He doesn't even have the size to be a project. I disagree. Tyler, mad funny, bro. That's me. Yeah. I know you were just messing with me that one time, but that's why I was like, hey, just giving you the little poke back, my guy. I know exactly who it is. Like I said, I know who my peeps are. I do. That's why I do this, to learn so we can get to know each other, right? I do. I really like the community. I really like the relationships aspect of it. If the Lakers somehow pull a rabbit from their hat and get Mitchell Robinson for, let's say, no main guys, how do you think that changes the lineup? If he's healthy, tremendously. I mean, Mitchell Robinson healthy is everything we need. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league, can block shots, got good size, physicality, toughness to him. Right? I mean, if you get Mitchell Robinson and he could let me rephrase this. If you could get Mitchell Robinson and you knew he was going to play 70 games this year, right? Like you knew you could look at a time machine, I would start him. He would be playing 30 minutes a game. right, alongside Anthony Davis, right? I've talked about how I'm not like huge on LeBron at the 3. Mitchell Robinson would be one of those players just because, again, the impact on the defensive side, offensive side, rebounding department, right? Like, he is one of those impact players. Like Valanciunas, I'm not moving LeBron to the 3-4, right? Like, because, again, you need somebody that can make up for the defense, right? So, like, LeBron doesn't have to, like, if he gets beat, you have those 2 big shot-blocking big men. Mitchell Robinson would change a lot. Problem is, can he play more than 40 games? I mean, he's not even supposed to be back to like what, December, January, something like that. So, he's going to miss half the season. But Braun did look great. Absolutely. Reaves just needs to straighten the raise on his shot, and he'll begin sniping. He has the elite shooting touch. He's got to do something. It's the preseason. I'm not overreacting to him shooting bad. He improved every year since he began in the league, except for shooting, right? Like, I mean, if you look at his stat line, yes, he improved every year, but also he got a much bigger role, right? If you look at the efficiency-wise, he got worse. But, when you go from, because you got to keep in mind, Austin Reaves, first 2 years, was playing spot minutes, right? He was playing like random nights and random minutes. And then LeBron got hurt, and he went from like playing no minutes to now he's playing 35, and for like the entire back half in the playoffs was played the most minutes out of anybody, more than LeBron and Anthony Davis, right? Like, that's a big difference, right? And you have no tape on him. Teams don't really know how to defend him, right? You can make the argument that there's lightning in a bottle. It's something that I broke down last offseason that I had concerns. But I also thought Austin Reaves would figure it out. He just did it. Again, I don't want to be too critical, because you're right. It is preseason. I don't want to overreact, but we have a large enough sample size now to show his shooting is cause of concern. Does that mean that he won't correct it? Of course not. It's very correctable. We've seen him shoot 40% from 3. We've seen him on many nights shoot 40+% from 3 and be efficient. But we need him to be, we need him to be solid, right? And regular. Lakers 0-2 and Celtics 2-0. Well, Denver's 0-2 too. So Denver and the Lakers, you heard it from Jason. Denver and the Lakers, trash. Denver's missing the playoffs, so are the Lakers. We need a win just for mentality stuff. It's been too long. The guys can't get used to losing. This is supposed to be a new team structure. I get that. I do. I do want to get a win, and I do think the Lakers will get a win, right? But you could also make the same argument that like being up 12 at halftime with your main core guys is a win, right? Like, because the rest of the guys aren't starting, so you can kind of step back and go like, oh man, we would have won by 30. Should have traded Reaves for DeJounte Murray. Look, I was very vocal about that. I was in the camp. I was one of the guys raising his hand saying like that needed to happen. Unfortunately, it didn't. Reaves has a good shot when he's taking smart shots. The problem is a lot of his shots aren't smart shots, and it's not just preseason. We saw that a lot last year. I'm right there with you. Max Christie's defense is fantastic, and he's pressuring. I mean, he's pressuring all 94. Let's see. Reaves is good, but he was this good 2+ years ago. This hasn't been any improvement, which was the fear. Max is going to surpass him, I believe, in the next 2 years. It's very likely, especially on the because he can play defense. What's going on, Daniel? Chill on Bronny. He's nervous, and you can see it. Give him some time; he'll be all right. Yeah, look at preseason. First 2, 3 preseason games, he was terrible offensively, and then all of a sudden he's hitting game winners and back-to-back games and stuff. We lost again. Yes, agreed. Darius, you gotta add perspective. He was scrubbing college, but why? It wasn't because he was bad. People forget he was a top 20 prospect going into college, into USC. He was projected to go like 15th to the Atlanta Hawks, right? But before the season began and everything, right? Like before he went into that, you have a heart attack and tell me how good you are. Most people would never play again. Lakers losing habits starting early again. I wouldn't call it that. because again, I don't care about the G League team losing. I care about the starters. If the starters got smacked, then yeah, I'd be a little worried. We say Reaves is who he is because of shooting. That's fine, but we're not going to say D'Lo is terrible in the playoffs against the Nuggets. So look, a lot of people talk about D'Lo being terrible in the playoffs against the Nuggets, and he was, but you saw real improvement. The only defense that I've had about D'Lo in the playoffs is you've seen growth, right? And so that gives you calm that okay, how do you continue to grow? How do you continue to get better in the playoffs? It's not like D'Lo was a perennial playoff player, right? I've been very critical of D'Lo too. Right? How do you get from not being a perennial playoff player to now getting comfortable in the playoffs every year? You play more games in the playoffs. Also, a lot of people look at that Denver series and just erase everything else. And it's well, what about the Memphis series? What about the Warriors series? I mean, he single-handedly saved us in game 5 of that Memphis series, and then single-handedly saved us in game 3 of the Warriors series. And that third quarter where he went out, he scored 12, I think, or something, or 13. I mean, he's had his moments. Denver, yes, he's been awful. But he went from basically giving you goose eggs and being completely unplayable to at least being good 2.5, 3 games. Again, that's progress. It's not great. I'm not happy about it, right? If the Lakers trade him, fine, so be it. But that you have seen growth. You've seen the progression, right? From year 1 to year 2, right? You've seen regression from Reaves. That's where the difference is. Reaves has regressed. D'Lo has gotten better. D'Lo got better from year 1 to year 2 in the regular season, and they got better from year 1 to year 2 in the playoffs. Not great still. I'm not saying that he was great, but you saw progress. So you're hoping that progress continues. With D'Lo or with Reaves, you saw boom, greatness, and then now you're just slowly seeing a decline. That's where my issue is. JJ's literally telling them to shoot threes. He said 43s a game is a good mark. Yeah. I mean, that's the new standard. I mean, it's what all the teams are doing, especially after Boston. Copycat league. How dare Bronny perform like the 55th pick? The goal and the audacity not to perform like a rookie of the year candidate. I feel that. That's why I said earlier, if you remove Bronny's name from the conversation, people would be talking very differently about Bronny James. Rui is going to be a serious problem this season. I am right there with you. I think that they have the potential to be great. Ooh, I got to go in 5 more minutes. I just saw the time. Actually got going on a date with my pretty beautiful woman. So me and my girl have a little date. We got to be there at 10:30, so I got to get ready and stuff. So I actually pushed the date later for you guys. That's how much I appreciate you guys. Evander is Seawood away from being a top 5. I am with it. Let's go. Tyler, this is the best trade in my opinion. Rui, Vando, Cam for Grant. Starting 5, Gabe, Reaves, Grant, Bron, 80, bench, D'Lo, Max, Chris, Max, Dalton, Wood, and any big do off the bench. Like I said, I am all for that. I'll be good, to be honest, just our third string are inexperienced. Yeah, I'm not worried about the G League guys and them losing the game. He took one shot. How is that a struggle? The problem is they parked him in the corner. I'm assuming that's somebody else. Did you watch the game? Again, I don't care about the G League guys. I care about the actual players that play. That's why you're the only person that said this comment. Literally, I've been live streaming for an hour now, and you're the only person that has said this comment. You know why? Because if you watched the game and you didn't just watch you didn't box score watch and all that stuff, you would have seen the Lakers were fantastic. Why is Christie and JHS and others bringing the ball down the court and not Bronny? He has a better handle. These guys, I wouldn't say better than Jalen or Trevino. As a Bron fan, he needs to just quit with the turnovers. Yeah, he forces passes a lot at times, and that's frustrating, very frustrating. All right, here, let's power through some questions here. I like JJ too. I'm right there with you, LeBron too. I'm curious, do you think our team are championship worthy? Do I think that the championship worthy? Yes. Do I think that they'll win a championship? Not necessarily. Are they capable of doing so? Absolutely. Again, no one is that much better than the Lakers. Lakers are going to be much better under JJ Redick. You still have LeBron James, still have Anthony Davis. You got a year of experience. Really, it boils down to the consistency of the other guys. The other guys can be consistent and show up in the playoffs. Yeah, Lakers can win a championship. Right? There's no team I look at in the Western Conference or even the NBA period, and they go, man, there's zero shot the Lakers beat them. Even Denver, who has smacked us, who's beaten us 9 out of the last 10 playoff games, right? Like, even them, I don't look at it and go like, or 8 out of the last 9 playoff games. But even them, I don't look at it and go, man, there's no way we beat them. Every one of those games, Lakers should have won, right? Like, better coaching probably would have been the difference in winning and losing those games. I'm shocked already. What's the Lakers record? Come on, give us a prediction. I have said that I think that they win at least 50 games. I'll if you want like a number, I'll say 52 games. I think they win 52 games. I think you go 52-30. We should trade for Miles Turner and Obi Toppin. I would love that. Definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't know how realistic that'll be, but definitely something to keep an eye on because Miles Turner is a free agent. So if they get any kind of signal that he may leave, then maybe he becomes available. Robinson, a red flag. Why trade him when you got Cat back up his absence? They could definitely still use it. I said the same thing. I have no idea why they want to trade Mitchell Robinson, but they seem very determined to do so, and I think that's silly. But hey, that's just me. Let's see. The offense the Lakers are running looks very fluid. There's a lot of cutting screens, ball movement. Yeah, they're running all kinds of different actions. They are stacking actions on top of actions. I mean, again, taking playbooks out of – I mean, we've seen plays out of Denver's playbook, Sacramento, the Warriors, Boston, right? Dan Hurley and UConn, like you name it. JJ Redick's just taking the greatest hits, and I love it. I love to see it. Denver with the rest might have gone worse, yes. I want to see Jalen Rufino get more minutes. That midi is good in the plays, solid defense, and could be a playmaker. I actually really like what we've seen. We've seen the growth. He's getting a lot more comfortable out there. I really like what we're seeing from him. All right, I'm going to answer these last few questions. I actually got to the end of the chat. Do you know how much expiring contracts we got next year? Off the top of my head, Gabe Vincent, Rui would be expiring. D'Lo would actually be gone, assuming like we don't trade anybody. Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, and Christian Wood all fall off the books. LeBron James can clear his money. Yeah, there you go. I watched the games, Tyler, but the bench is trash. Yeah, I mean, our G League guys. Again, G League guys are a problem. What do you think is the biggest need for improvement so far through these 2 games? Better defense, better defensive pressure, and just consistency. We'll have like 2 or 3 great defensive sequences, and then you'll just watch the next 2 sequences, and guys are just getting beat. You got to stay better focused on the defense side of things. Better consistency, knocking down, hitting shots, right? Like D'Lo, Rui, Reaves, like guys like that, got to hit shots. You got to do a better job shooting and knocking down shots. Defense is probably my biggest concern, particularly in the starting unit. We have better defensive pieces, but in that starting unit, I really have my concerns defensively. Just better execution on both sides of the basketball. Even the offense has looked so much better, but there have been some clear miscues and some clear broken plays, not because of the defense, but because they executed wrong. Again, first 2 preseason games in a brand new offensive system, that's going to happen. But if we're talking about things that need to improve going forward, those are kind of the things that come to mind off the top of my head. But all right, I'm going to skate on out of here because, like I said, I got a date with my beautiful woman and want to keep her happy because she, is my other half, my better half, right? Because without her, I don't get to do this regularly. So, but yes, I appreciate you guys. Obviously, I would have wanted the win. Not the end of the world, right? I don't care about the wins and losses. I care about how do we look? How are we performing out there on the basketball court? I think we did a great job. Love to see it. But on our way out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys Thursday. I'll try to get a stream before Thursday because it's long. What, so 4 days away. So try to see if I can do something maybe like Tuesday or something. But stay tuned. I will see you all in the next one. You guys are awesome.